Hate Nation's getting their money's worth if you are in this arena. That's for dang sure.
I know that there are team goals, and that's what ultimately matters, but Bam has made no secret that he would like to be in Utah in a couple weeks. And how much are you clamoring for it? How much does a night like this help that? How much are you rooting for it? Are you campaigning? Where's it on your wish list?
Certainly, I'm rooting for it. I thought he should have been an All-Star last year. There's really no reason he shouldn't have been an All-Star last year. He missed 5 weeks. So what? He was playing at an All-Star level. There's been other guys that have missed a month or 5 weeks and still got in. It's deserving. And that's not really my nature, to go out and campaign. I just think he's an all-star, and he showed it tonight, and thankfully it was a big win. It was on TV. I hope people notice, but he really impacted the win. Particularly going down the stretch, and it wasn't just the scoring. I love the two-man collaboration that he and Tyler were going to. I wanted them to get to more of that in the first half, but they really settled in down the stretch, and it was just really good, coherent actions for us. But Bam was terrific as well on the backside of our zone. Probably a lot of that stuff doesn't really show up, but his communication, getting guys to the right spots because they were doing some unique things against our zone, and then protecting the rim, where they usually had a guy on the baseline. He was able to kind of be in two places at once, doing the matrix thing, which you have to do against the zone, but you have to have a great feel. It's highly nuanced, and again, he's just proven that he can defend in any coverage that we do, and he can do it as well as anybody in this league.
So it was a rough shooting night for Tyler, but what does it say about in that game-winning shot? He got blitzed, and
this is what we've been emphasizing with our team. Right now, we can win basketball games whether we feel like we're in rhythm, whether we feel like the offense is flowing, whether we have confidence or not. It doesn't matter. It's about impacting the game and impacting the win ultimately, and Tyler made some big plays down the stretch. The spray, for the three. Probably more than anything was just the fact that we had coherency and confidence of where the ball was going in that two-man action, and that it was going to be the right read. And he was very patient. I thought he made the right reads. He got the ball back to Bam a couple times. I thought his floater was great, and then he had another one with a left-hand one. I don't know how that one didn't go in. And that's what it's all about. If we have to win, ugly, so be it. We held them to 13 points in the fourth quarter, and made some plays down the stretch to seal it, which was encouraging to see.
Coach, congratulations on a great win. To win shooting 36% speaks volumes about your defense, but just wanted to get your thoughts on the game Haywood Highsmith had. Not only 15 and 10, but the defense he played against Tatum in the second half. Really
inspiring, and we were mostly in our zone defense, but he was burning the most calories. He was all over the place, picking up three-quarter court, then settling back into the zone. He was just able to apply that pressure that kind of set the tone for our defense. So it wasn't just a retreat defense. And I thought he was really disciplined. It's really hard to play, that hard and expend that much energy, try to take away Tatum's airspace, and then when he puts the ball on the floor, to get a chest on his shoulder without fouling, because he's so clever. Once he drives on how to draw contact and get to the free throw line. And H just kind of inspired that defense in the second half. Just with his multiple efforts, everybody else kind of joined the party from there.
You mentioned that pressure. It seemed like you were trying to bring a lot of pressure on Tatum from the start. It wasn't working at first, so why did it work better the second half?
I don't know. I think we didn't really make the necessary efforts in the first half. Your scheme is not going to get anything done. It's the efforts, the discipline, the multiple efforts that you have to make against a very good offensive team with three-point shooting and everything. Our closeouts were better in the second half. Putting bodies in front of him, and then if he kicked it out, we were able to get to guys quicker than we were, to start the game. Basically, every time he wanted to just get off it quickly in the first half, it led to a wide-open shot. When we're at our best, we're not giving up one pass, one trigger, wide-open shots. And it was much stingier in that second half. And that's the inspiration of, H and Gabe was really moving in that zone. And Bam was just terrific on the backside of it.
Two things I wanted to ask. Jimmy, how much of a surprise was it, his late scratch, and then Caleb with the 11 minutes? Was there an injury there, or was it just the flow of the game?
No, it was the flow of the game. He got in the foul trouble in both halves, and H played so well, it just couldn't take him out of the game. Those are the kind of things that you want from a head coaching standpoint. Make us play you, because you're playing so hard and you're making so many things happen. And it's not just the 4 threes. That has nothing to do with it. He could have not scored a single point in this game, and he would have had his fingerprints all over this win. And that's what we are when we're at our best. And then as we continue to get more continuity, we'll get in better offensive rhythm. I have no doubt about that, but we can win games in the meantime by really, buckling down to doing the tough things.
So Vic kind of had a rough shooting night. I think he only had 1 assist, but it seemed like his paint touches were kind of generating a lot of the looks leading up to that run. I guess just how important is that element when you don't have Jimmy specifically?
All of it really mattered. Everybody's minutes mattered in this game, particularly when it ends up being a possession game, down the stretch. And they're a very good team. Even with the guys that they have had out, they're just they have a lot of spacing. They know what they're doing. They know where they want to get the ball to. They know how they want to execute. So there's a lot of things you have to manage. But Vic's, his attacks and his plays in between, and then when, they in the second unit when they put Cornette on him and he hit the 2 big threes, that was those were like relief points against a specific scheme. So his minutes were not big tonight, but they were very impactful.
To follow up on Anthony's question about Jimmy, when did you find out? How did that play out? And can you talk a little bit again about Max being the universal donor and stepping in?
Yeah. Well, we found out JB, at shoot-around. His back really tightened up on him. And then Max, you can look at either positively or negatively. And that's why I tell him, isn't this what you've always wanted? Come in there and play a big role, whether you're coming off the bench or starting. What else do you want? I think that's great to be able to plug and play in a lot of different roles. And he was able to do that tonight. It was really important. He knocked down some big ones, but he also did a bunch of good things in the zone as well, because there were a lot of things that we had to negotiate and cover a lot of ground.
Obviously, this Boston offense gets out to that #1 historic start this year. How much do you look at what other teams have been able to do recently, especially since you faced them earlier in the year, to find different ways to slow them? And what kind of is the key to slowing this offense?
I mean, they're especially when they're healthy, they're a really explosive offensive unit. They have guys that can collapse your defense, and they have three-point spacing all over the place, and then they have vertical spacing as well. We have to just do what we do and do it consistently. We feel like we can defend against any roster in this league when we're at our best and most focused and most committed. Look, there's no easy way in this league defensively. I don't think there was before, but right now with the space and skill and cleverness, that players have now, you have to commit to doing a lot of tough things, and there's no way of doing it without big-time multiple efforts. You got to show some real grit to be able to defend in this league. All right? Thank you.